freaking amazing. That was pretty awesome.
My name is James. I'm 79 years old. And if I'm speaking today, it's not to justify myself. It's not to make excuses either. It's simply because I believe there's someone, somewhere, who needs to hear my story. I went to prison twice. The first time I was 21. I was young, stupid, hungry for money and illusions. I made a mistake, a real bad move, and they gave me 5 years behind bars. In there, I learned what it meant to lose your freedom, but I also learned that even the coldest walls can't stop you from thinking about those you love. When I got out, I swore never again, and I kept my word. For a long time, I fought to stay straight. I found work as a taxi driver. It was simple, modest, but honest. Every passenger I transported reminded me that I was free. And believe me, freedom has a taste you never forget. I had 2 children, a boy and a girl. I raised them as best I could, with my wounds and my regrets. Today, they won't look me in the face anymore. They carry the shame of my name, and that's a pain that neither time nor prayers heal easily. But let me tell you about the second time, the one that destroyed my life just when I thought I was finally
when I did it,
saved. It was an ordinary day, the kind of day where you drive without thinking, where passengers get in and out, where you just count the hours until you go home. Then there was this phone call, a female voice, young, rushed. "Sir, are you a taxi? I'd need you for the whole day." She was 23 years old. She carried a bag too heavy for her. Her fragile smile was hiding something, but I didn't ask questions. I was just a driver. My job was to drive. She gave me several addresses. We stopped at strange places, dark buildings, streets that were too quiet. She always got out carefully with her bag, disappeared for a few minutes, then came back, breathless, nervous. I could see there was something fishy going on. But you know, when you have a past like mine, you tell yourself that the best way to stay free is to close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. The last address was one too many. While she was going into a building, 2 police cars stopped around my taxi. In seconds, I saw the guns, the shouting, the orders, "Don't move, hands on the wheel." My heart stopped. I was 65, sitting behind that wheel, and all I could think was, "Not again, Lord, not again." They opened my trunk. The girl's bag was there. Inside, things I had never seen. Money, powder, enough evidence to condemn me for life. Her, gone, vanished into thin air. Me, slammed to the ground, handcuffed, humiliated, treated like a repeat offender. When I arrived at the station, the police officer's looks already said it all. Here's an old crook who never changed. I screamed my innocence, but my words fell like stones into an empty well. My children were there, at the trial. Their look, I'll never forget it. Not anger, not sadness, just emptiness, as if I was already dead to them. My lawyer was talking, but his voice sounded hollow. I was a former convict, a taxi driver found with a bag full of evidence. For them, that was enough. I went back behind bars. At my age, it wasn't a sentence, it was a grave. The cell was freezing, but that was nothing compared to the cold in my heart. I thought about my children, my life, everything I had missed. I said to myself, "Lord, why? Why again?" And then, one night, when I couldn't take it anymore, I closed my eyes and heard a voice, not a human voice, a voice that sounded like my mother's, soft, distant. "James, God has never abandoned you." I burst into tears, tears I hadn't shed in decades, and there, in that black hole, I prayed, really prayed. Not to get out, not to be found innocent. No, I prayed for God to forgive me, for Him to give me the peace that prison had stolen from me twice. The months passed. Then, one day, I was summoned. An investigation had progressed. They had found the girl. They had discovered I was innocent. The judge pronounced my release. But understand me clearly. I wasn't the same man coming out. It wasn't freedom I wanted anymore. It was redemption. My children, they turned their backs on me. They haven't forgiven me. Not yet. But you know what? I stopped fighting against that. Because the only forgiveness that matters, I received it in that cell, on my knees, with trembling hands. I'm 79 years old. I live alone. My nights are long. My days are quiet. But every morning, when I open my eyes, I say the same prayer. Thank you, Lord, because despite my mistakes, despite my shame, you never abandoned me. And if I speak today, it's not to tell a tragedy. It's to tell whoever is listening, even in your darkest night, even when everyone accuses you, even when you think your life is over, there's still a light, and that light is God. I am James. I was a prisoner twice, but deep down, it was in that prison that I finally found freedom. Thank you, Lord, for even when my children turned their backs on me, even when men condemned me, you held my hand.
Been walking these roads for 40 years, seen my share of broken dreams. Lost my job, lost my way, nothing left but faith it seems. Through the rain and through the pain, something kept me standing strong. Deep inside I heard his voice, telling me to carry on. Through the storm, through the storm, he was there when I was torn. Through the storm, through the storm, his love kept me from being worn down to nothing, down to dust. In his mercy and his trust, through the storm, I found peace in being born again. Watched my daddy fade away. Cancer took him piece by piece, but he smiled and squeezed my hand, said, son, I'm going home to peace. Learned that day what strength really means. Not the muscle or the bone, it's the quiet faith that holds you up when you're facing the unknown. Through the storm, he was there when I was torn. Through the storm, his love kept me from being worn down to nothing.
That was pretty awesome.
The youngest judge on the panel, I can say that was off the chain.
And you have a story to tell. You know, you were doing the Matrix there. That's magnificent. I could watch you all day.
He's freaking amazing.